Hi, my name is Sydney Morton. I'm doing the video outline on reviewing Erik Erikson's theory on psychosocial development, specifically industry versus inferiority, and how it connects to our experience and like elementary to college. So Erikson's fourth stage is industry versus inferiority, and this happens between 6 to 12. This time is very influential for kids. They are starting to learn to be productive, that they're able to do things, and they're also starting to become a little bit more independent, that they don't need to constantly rely on people, but they're also starting to compare themselves to other peers. And validation is very, very important and influential for this stage. So if they start to succeed at this stage, such as like school and stuff, they develop a sense of like industry or like competence, like they can start doing things and their confidence will grow. But if they repeatedly have struggles with learning and stuff, they might have a sense of inferiority. So a child who becomes and feels supported by their parents and teachers are normally it's going to reflect on their schoolwork and their learning. They're going to feel more motivated to learn. And I feel like this topic is starting to have a lot more nuance, especially in the past 10 years because of social media. Because when social media didn't exist, specifically when I was 6 to 12, you didn't have to compare yourself to millions of people. You just had to compare yourself to people who you surrounded yourself with, who your parents surrounded yourself with. So I think more and more kids are starting to have inferiority because you're seeing other bodies. You're having so many influences through social media, which I think, me personally, I would not want my kid to be on TikTok, Instagram, or anything when I do have kids on social media till they're at least 12, 13, 14. And even then I want to monitor them, which is kind of crazy. I feel like I would never say that, but I feel like this is really changing them psychologically, and that's why there's so much nuance, because kids didn't used to grow up with social media, but now we're seeing them on TikTok and stuff, and you can see that it's really impacting their psyche. There's no awkward stage anymore. So now I need to reflect on myself. Did my elementary experience predict college? Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, I feel like I always knew I was going to go to college. My mom went to college twice, and my dad was a college dropout, but they always supported whatever I wanted to do. But I typically did have academic success. I was very smart. I loved to read. I still currently love to read. So I feel like college was always in my foresight. And I feel like I was always knew I would be able to succeed. Like I was always in the honors classes and everything. So it was kind of encouraged, and I knew whatever job I wanted would need a higher education degree. Because me personally, I hate manual labor. Like truly, like when my dad would be like, can we go do yard work? I'm like, no. So I definitely was not going to go into the trades. So I knew that I kind of needed a college degree. And my mom definitely, so she was originally a business major, and then my brother had autism. So then she went into special ed. So she was kind of going through college while I was growing up in school. So we always kind of had that academic push. And my parents are financially stable. So I knew that money would not really be a huge factor in if I could go to college or not. And I always knew I wanted to help people. So I knew I wanted to be like a social worker or teacher or a nurse, and I knew that all those needed higher degrees. So personally, I always felt like college was in the cards for me, but my brother hasn't gone to college. He's just a high school janitor. So my parents were going to support me whatever I did as long as I would be able to financially support myself. So yeah.